Look at me. I want you to listen to me right now, because we need to have a serious, raw, and completely honest conversation about the single biggest threat to your financial security in retirement. It is not a stock market crash. It is not inflation biting into your grocery budget. It is long-term care. Every single day, I talk to people just like you, people who worked hard for 40 years, saved their money, paid off their mortgages, and did everything right. They think they are safe. They think they have crossed the finish line and can finally breathe easy. But then, life happens. A stroke. A bad fall. An Alzheimer's diagnosis. And suddenly, the retirement dream evaporates, replaced by a financial nightmare that can wipe out a lifetime of savings in a matter of months. Let's define exactly what we are dealing with here, because there is so much confusion out there, and confusion breeds disaster. Long-term care is not medical care. It is not a doctor curing your illness or a surgeon fixing a broken bone. It is personal care. It is what the industry calls activities of daily living. We are talking about the basic things you take for granted every single day: bathing, dressing, eating, using the bathroom, and just getting out of bed. When you can no longer do those things on your own due to illness, injury, or cognitive decline, you need long-term care. And it does not just age. If you need a non-medical health aide to come to your house for just 44 hours a week, not even full-time, the median cost is running over $80,000 a year. If you move into an assisted living facility, the median base cost is averaging around $6,200 a month. That is nearly $74,400 a year. And if you need a private room in a skilled nursing home, you are looking at a national median of over $129,000 every single year. In expensive states like Alaska, Connecticut, or Massachusetts, that number skyrockets way past $200,000 a year. Hope is not a financial plan. You cannot just put your head in the sand and pray that you will be part of the percentage that never needs help. The statistics tell us a brutal truth: close to 70% of adults who reach age 65 will need some form of long-term care services before they die. Let that sink in. Nearly 3 out of 4 of you watching this right now will face this reality. So you have to ask yourself the ultimate question: how are you going to pay for it without going broke? The very first thing you must do is erase the dangerous myths you have been fed, because misinformation will ruin you. The biggest mistake, the absolute number one misconception I hear from almost every pre-retiree is this: Susie, it's fine, Medicare will cover it. Listen to me closely: no, it will not. Medicare does not pay for long-term care. Medicare is designed to pay for acute medical care, doctors, hospitals, and short-term rehabilitative care. If you break your hip, Medicare will pay for your surgery, and it might pay for a few weeks of physical therapy in a facility to get you back on your feet. But the moment your condition stabilizes, and you just need someone to help you get dressed and cook your meals, Medicare walks out the door and leaves you with the bill. Do not make the mistake of relying on a program that was never built to protect you from this risk. This brings us to the second option, which has become incredibly popular, and for good reason: hybrid or asset-based policies. These are life insurance policies or annuities that have a long-term care rider attached to them. You reposition an asset, often a lump sum of money sitting in a low-yielding account, into one of these policies. If you need long-term care, the policy pays out a multiple of your investment to cover those costs, completely tax-free. But here is the beauty of a hybrid policy, and why it provides such peace of mind: if you never need care, that money is not lost. When you pass away, a tax-free death benefit is passed on to your beneficiaries, your children, or your spouse. It eliminates the use it or lose it gamble of traditional insurance. If you have the liquidity to fund a hybrid policy, it is one of the most powerful ways to protect your wealth. Your third option is what the majority of Americans end up doing, not by choice, but by default: self-insuring. This means you simply intend to pay for care out of your own pocket, using your investments, your pension, your Social Security, or by selling your home. If you have a net worth of over $2 or $3 million outside of your primary residence, you can likely afford to self-insure. the interest and dividends from your portfolio can absorb the cost of a home health aid or an assisted living facility without destroying your principal. But if your retirement nest egg is $200,000, $500,000, or even $800,000, self-insuring is a massive gamble. A few years of high-intensity nursing care can completely wipe out everything you intended to leave behind for your surviving spouse. You must look at your balance sheet with absolute honesty and ask if you can truly afford to bear 100% of that risk alone. So, what is the actionable takeaway here? What must you do right now to take control of your financial destiny? First, you need to have a family meeting. You must sit down with your spouse and your adult children, and you need to talk about the what-ifs. Do not treat this topic like a taboo. Talk about who will provide care, where you would prefer to live if you can no longer care for yourself, and what assets are available. Second, the sweet spot for planning is between the ages of 55 and 65. This is when you are typically healthy enough to qualify for insurance coverage, but close enough to retirement to understand what your financial picture looks like. If you wait until you are 75 or until you receive a medical diagnosis, the door will be slammed shut. You will be uninsurable, and your options will disappear. Third, if you cannot afford or qualify for a hybrid or traditional insurance policy, you must look at alternative asset protection strategies. Meet with a qualified elder law attorney in your state. Look into irrevocable trusts, explore the rules surrounding your primary residence, and understand how to shield your surviving spouse from financial ruin. Your financial security is entirely in your hands. Do not let ignorance, denial, or fear rob you of the retirement you earned. Face the reality of long-term care today, build your defensive plan, and protect your hard-earned money, because nobody else is going to do it for you.